NAU students in the hospital battling meningitis, and that can really make the rounds when it comes to a college campus, but there are actually like specific age ranges that it kind of focuses on.
Absolutely.
So how do you know that you have a cold or you have meningitis? When does it become something serious? So I don't have those answers, but we have Dr. Art here to answer for us.
Good morning to you. You know, meningitis is a very serious disease, and it's something that basically a lot of people may not know a lot about. You get a swelling of the meninges. The meninges cover that outer aspect of your brain. It's almost like a membrane. It covers the brain, it covers the spinal cord, it becomes inflamed and infected. And so it's very common in children under the age of 5. It's also common in 16 to 25-year-olds, and it's also particularly common in people over the age of 55. So there are three types of meningitis. Number one, viral. Number two, bacterial. And then there's a fungal type of meningitis. It spreads very easily through just coughing and sneezing, and it's very common in college students, particularly freshmen. So if you're a freshman going to college this year, get that meningitis shot.
Why is
really
that?
Because there's close contact and people are living closely together and everything like that. And again, sometimes they get the immunization early on between the ages of 11 and 12, and they don't get that booster shot, which often is required. So you can get, again, people living in close quarters. Also, people who live in military barracks, that's very common to have that too. So what are the symptoms? First of all, a very high fever. You'll get nausea, you'll get vomiting, sleepiness, you'll just be fatigued the entire time. You'll have confusion, you may even have seizures. So these are some of the most common symptoms. If you get any of these, sure, you may have the flu, and sometimes if you have the viral type of meningitis, that comes on over a period of several days, whereas the bacterial meningitis can come on over several hours, and it can be very serious. So what can you do to protect yourself? Get immunized, and those immunizations should be given again at between ages 11 and 12. That's really when you want to get that first one. And there's an immunization, it's called ACWY. And that's the one you want to get, again, at 11 to 12, and you can get a booster at age 16. Then there's the meningococcal B, and you need 2 to 3 doses of that between the ages of 16 to 23. So those are some of the ways to protect yourself. And if you have a teen out there who basically is, just going to college, make sure they get immunized. They have to do this because you may think that they're not vulnerable to it, but again, if they're going to be living in a dorm, they are very, very susceptible to it. There's a new vaccine out there called Bocera, and that's also available, but they need to get these shots. And again, ACWY is one vaccine, and meningococcal B is the other vaccine that ought to be given.
And a good reminder too about boosters.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get the
you
first one
and
you
don't get
feel
the booster.
good.
And the way to diagnose it, you're going to have to go to the emergency room. They're going to have to do a spinal tap, and that's the way that they're able to determine if you actually have meningitis. And again, the viral meningitis may not be that serious. Sometimes people fully recover, but the bacterial one, that is the most serious type of meningitis, so be careful.
Thanks, Dr. Art. Always giving us the good stuff there.
Thank you.
You know what?